Good morning, everyone. You know, my name is Rasheed Girvan, as was stated, and I am the regional digital manager with Yellow. And one of my functions is to be able to communicate with business leaders right across the Caribbean to help to understand the power and impact and the uses of digital marketing, digital technology in growing businesses. And I have presented after lunch, after coffee breaks, after inspiring speakers, but never before have I had the opportunity to present after a show off like the performance we had before. I was sitting there. No, I'm from Jamaica, as you may have detected the accent. And we do have some amount of pan. And I say some amount because I've never seen anything quite like that back home. And so, congratulations. I'll definitely be checking him out on Facebook. That was really good. It speaks to the talent that resides here in the Caribbean. And as Yellow, it really is a regional company. We operate now in 19 territories across the region. And I am able to see firsthand some of the really unsung heroes, some of the talents in the Caribbean, whether it is in music or food or so many other things. So anyway, I'm here this morning to speak about digital advertising, digital marketing. And I'd like to first of all thank Mr. Duke for extending the invitation out and the TSTT team to have me here today to be able to present to you, because I think that in the advent of, technology, it is really important as a Caribbean people for us to stay on the cutting edge and be able to utilize the various aspects that at our disposal to help us to grow. This graph shows global internet usage over the past 10 years, actually a little bit more. And that graph, the best word to use to describe is exponential. Globally, the use of technology and the internet has grown exponentially. Now, it's estimated that there are just under 4 billion users of the internet actively. That represents over 52% of the global population. Now, the exact figures may vary a little bit, but suffice it to say, more than half of the world is online. And it's used, the internet is, for so many different applications, such as importantly, we saw just now, to be able to help the disabled community to effectively communicate. And that's just one of the great uses. If you ever wondered which countries globally have the biggest population that has exposure to the internet, well, according to the information from 2016, China is number one, with just over 52% of their population having access to the internet. Then we have India, US comes third on the list, Brazil, and Japan rounds off the top 5. Those are the countries that have the most in terms of number of people online. The graph on your right shows that Asia accounts for about 50% of those persons who are plugged in online. Bringing that a little bit closer home, the figures for Trinidad and Tobago. This number here says 70% of the population here has access to the internet. Now that number, just to put it into perspective, that's quite an impressive number. In Jamaica, we have about 56% of the population online. There are some smaller territories that have a lot larger percentage. But in terms of the infrastructure here in TT, I think you can be proud of that, because 70% of the population using the internet is really speaks to the testament of the advancement. And due in no small part the activity of, for example, our partners at TSTT, who is able to bring mobile, because what we will realize is that As the use of the internet grows, as business leaders, what we need to realize is it's not just growing anywhere. It's not growing necessarily on desktop devices. That remains stable. Where the growth is taking place is in mobile. And so if you as a business are looking to tap into this emerging trend of increase of access to the internet, then you must ensure that you are able to take advantage of mobile data. You see, it's no secret that the mobile device, the cell phone, is the future. The mobile device is one, it's less expensive to acquire. It has a multiplicity of purposes and uses. And you're able to have high-speed connectivity literally at your fingertips. And so as businesses, using that reality to enhance your business is going to set you apart. One of the main ways, and I'll discuss it a little bit further, is to ensure that your website is mobile friendly. You see, 4 or 5 years ago, a website was developed for a desktop or a laptop computer. And so the orientation was landscape, and it was a huge screen. Now, the reality is, if the growth is taking place in mobile, chances are the screen is rotated 90 degrees, and now we're using a portrait outline. The screen is infinitely smaller, and you're using your finger to navigate. Not all websites are able to make the adaptation to the mobile device. And so in digital marketing, right throughout the Caribbean, what we realize is that not enough websites are mobile friendly. The reality is that if your website is not mobile friendly, you're not able to manipulate the website on a mobile device, you're going to be missing out on that opportunity. The visitor is going to move on to the next competitor. So, take home point, ensure that your website is mobile friendly. I wanted to just focus here. I know it's a little bit small, but I'll read it for you. What this is telling us is the top websites here in Trinidad in terms of visitors. Number one, we have Google.TT. So Google is the number one website here. Then we have YouTube, then Google.com. YouTube being number two is similar to global trends. And what can you take from that as a business owner? Well, video is king. The reason why YouTube is the second largest or second most popular website in Trinidad and Tobago, and right across the region, in some instances actually it's number one. It means that the consumption of media, the consumption of information, more and more is by video. And so if you want the messages to be transmitted, you need to invest in video. Not 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos, but short, succinct, 30-second, 45-second videos to be able to communicate. And that is where globally the trends are. Then we have Facebook as number 4, which is, I'm sure is no surprise. Amazon is number 5. What's the implication of that? Banks. For you to be able to do transactions online, it means that as a Caribbean community, we are now embracing e-commerce. And that has significant implications if your business is able to do transactions online. Whether you're doing retail, you're in hospitality, you're able to make bookings. It means that if you're a bank, credit cards and methods of online payment now become more important. If you're in the business of courier, when you buy it on Amazon, it must come here somewhere. So I know across the region, that industry of carrying things, couriering things back home is another emerging industry. Can your business benefit from this trend towards e-commerce? That's only a question that you can answer. Then we have Yahoo. Number 10 on the list is UE.edu. And so for number 10, we see where the first local business, local entity in terms of popularity in Trinidad. Then we have TrinidadExpress.com, followed number 12 by the Pirate Bay, which is, again, video, not necessarily wholesome video in many instances. but it's streaming of series and content, etc. That's just giving you a snapshot of what, in terms of popularity, the top websites are. And that has implications as it relates to how people are using the internet. All of that is wonderful. If people are using more digital media, we see where they're using it for shopping, for searches, for watching video, for getting the news, and the list goes on and on. If people are using more digital media more, then as a business, what it simply means is that there is a great opportunity for you to increase the level and effectiveness with which you communicate with those people who are using digital media. Then we get into the business of digital marketing. And as an umbrella term, digital marketing is simply the marketing of products and services using technology. It may or may not include the use of the internet, but digital marketing really and truly is the future. The digital marketing landscape, I deal with many different businesses. The digital marketing landscape can be a little bit confusing. There is email marketing, online advertising, pay-per-click ads, affiliate marketing, social media, which is huge, blogging, SEO, viral, and the list goes on and on. If we were to try and make a little bit more sense of it all, and tidy things up a little bit, in essence, we can narrow it down into 3 areas. There is earned media, paid media, and owned media. Now, if we're talking about owned media, we're talking about the online asset. Well, what is your online asset? It's your website. You have unrestricted access to this online asset. Your blogs. Social media is your online asset as well. However, you're not fully in total control. You still have to conform to the guidelines and the framework of your social media platform. So you have some control over some of the content that is made. For example, social media allows for bilateral communication. So somebody can leave a comment on your page, your Instagram or Facebook page. Whether that comment is flattering or not, well, you have zero control of that. So that's owned media. Getting your public, your customers, your potential customers to your media, you can do one of 2 things. You can get it for free, or you can pay for it. Well, everybody wants it for free. How exactly do you get persons to visit your website for free? Well, that is the question. You can have or encourage persons to mention you in their posts and leave reviews and to rate their experience with your entity. You can ask them to share it, word of mouth. Does anybody know the secret or the formula for a video or some piece of content to go viral? Does anybody know the formula? No? Dramatic. I've had various responses to that question. Somebody said use a puppy. Another person said use cute little babies. Somebody said have Trump involved in it. There's no formula, guys, for your content to go viral. Because today it could be about a cute little puppy tripping down the stairs. When that video goes viral and you try to duplicate it tomorrow, it's dead in the water. There's no formula. And so you can't guarantee that your content, your message will be shared or that it will go viral. And so the surest way for you to reach your audience and to grow is to employ different strategies, including paying to get your message out there. The good thing about digital is that while you're paying for it, there are very effective ways to be able to measure the return on your investment. The digital ecosystem. I like this because everybody knows the websites as one leg or one aspect of the digital ecosystem. Then we have social media. Then we have things like content marketing, your blogs, email marketing, etc. But not enough people recognize that search, the activity, the advent of search is such an important aspect in the digital ecosystem. Google is number one in Trinidad. And for many places around the world, Google is the number one website because of the search. Google has made it so commonplace for persons to search that now people hardly want to think as much as they should. Google employs machine learning and artificial intelligence to be able to interpret some of the search queries. And we have seminars in we Yellow have seminars in conjunction with Google because we're the regional partners. And what Google said is that 15% of the searches that are conducted every day have never been seen by Google before. 15%. There are over 2.5 trillion searches conducted every year. Now, those figures are astounding. And basically, to put it into perspective, what it means is that people are now talking to Google as if it is somebody and expecting the program, Google, to be able to interpret. So no longer is somebody saying, best hotel in Tobago. Those days are gone. And technology facilitates an emergence of how searches are conducted. You see, now you can just press the button on your phone and say, where can I find the best hotel in Tobago that has beach access and serves Banks beer? Or you're looking for a restaurant. Where is the best Chinese restaurant in Trinidad that serves mala chicken open now? You're asking Google to compare the best. So how does Google get that information to say, well, this is the best or not the best? Ratings and reviews, whether it is TripAdvisor or Facebook or the Yellow directory ratings, if people are able to share their experience, that provides Google with the information to do the comparison. Best Chinese restaurant that serves mala chicken. I never hear that. Well, how does Google know? How are we able to know what your menu is? You have to state that. You can state it on your online asset, usually your website, or on your profile. Open now. Well, of course, the opening hours must be there. The point I'm making is that your online asset that we spoke about, it must be able to provide the information that your customers are interested in. And so many times what we found is the content that is included in your asset. I don't say website only because it could be a Facebook page, it could be an Instagram page. It's on the online Yellow directory and your website. The information that is shared is not what your customers want to know. And if the information is not available, you're going to miss out on that opportunity. It is because of the advent of search that we took the decision, we Yellow took the decision 2 years ago to do a complete redesign of our Internet Yellow directory. And we did a complete redesign and relaunch. And so what we have happened now is that we've made the IYD much more search-centric. And we've been able to do a number of things to be able to capitalize on persons' search behavior. Our approach to digital marketing is basically a 360 degree, from end to end. And we'll start off by asking why. Why do you want digital marketing? So we'll do a proper needs assessment of our clients. We'll look at your goals, because your goal could be to promote an event here today. It could be to do brand awareness. It could be to generate sales. It could be to generate leads. What are your ultimate goals? What is the audience you're trying to reach? Because not all campaigns are the same. We could want to target students. We could want to target business executives. What are your goals? And how long? Where? Of course, we want to know where you're trying to drive traffic to. Is it a website? Is it a social media page or a landing page? Not only that, but we have the ability to stay here and target towns right around the world. Pinpoint geo-target campaigns. So we could stay here and target a community that is in South Florida, for example, because the research shows that that is where your target market is. Then we'll design and execute the campaign. But then that is only half of the work. There's a constant review and optimization of the campaigns and monthly reporting. And the monthly reporting is what will allow us to be able to help you to identify that this is a good medium for you to advertise, and we're establishing return on your investment. All of that said, is driving traffic to your online asset. And the main asset we think is the website. Because this platform allows you to have unbridled, unrestricted access to the content and what you want to say. Now, of course, there are three main types of websites. A lead generating website that most of you know provides information about your business. It's used usually to generate leads. E-commerce, which is becoming more and more prevalent. E-commerce is simply where you're able to do a financial transaction online. And at the opposite extreme, we have a storefront. Now, think of Amazon or eBay or Walmart.com, where it's less about your opening hours and your branches, and now more about products and items and descriptions and quantities. Whatever type of website that you have, the thing to remember is the goal of having a website. The goal is to use that medium, that platform, as a tool to help your customers to reach to a purchase decision. If you realize that persons are asking you, what are your opening hours, or something on the phone, use the website to be able to communicate that. And so if you can cut the telephone conversation by 10 minutes using your website, then you would have used the website to its potential. The website is the central hub of your online presence. Not enough people use the website as it should be. Social media should be used as a complementary tool to drive traffic back. You see, the thing is, if somebody's on Facebook, for example, then what will happen is there are over 2 billion active users on Facebook. Over 2 billion. Those other users and those other Facebook page owners are trying to get your customers' attention as well. And they're always going to try and pull them away. If you can use that platform to direct them to your website, and they spend 2 minutes on your website, those 2 minutes are spent engaging with your content. And if at the end of the day, that 2 minutes can be used to help to make a purchase decision, then you're good to go. Measure the performance of your website. How many people are entering your website? Where are they coming from? How many people are leaving? And therefore, how many people are actually converting? Digital marketing allows you to use main KPIs, key performance indicators, to be able to determine success. Impressions, clicks, click-through rates, cost. How far is your message getting? What is your reach? How many people are seeing your ads? Having seen your ad, how many people are actually clicking on your ad? So therefore, how many people are you engaging with? Are you ultimately changing the level of traffic to your website? Are you able to get persons to spend more time on your website? Are you generating more leads? And are these leads converting to new customers? These are some of the questions that we help you to ask about your digital campaign. I mentioned before the IYD, the Trinidad IYD, and I'd like to just share some of the figures with you. We did a global launch of our IYD in March? Right. And since then, I'll share the figures with you. Trinidad and Tobago's IYD, since March to now, have generated over 2.1 million page views for businesses listed on the IYD. That is a respectable number, but what I want to focus on is the click to call. The click to call button here. 52,000 click to calls. It means that somebody's on the IYD, Internet Yellow Directory, and they've clicked on the ad to be able to call directly from the app. So we've sent 52,000 calls to businesses. That is not to say that we've only sent 52,000, because of course persons would have made phone calls or queries outside of here. But in terms of the reach and effectiveness, I think that number underscores the power of, one, tracking this information so I can stand here today and communicate with you, but also speaks to how many people are actually using this platform. Another service we provide as a partnership, a part of the partnership with Google, is search engine marketing. We just spoke about the power of search. Of course, the king of search is Google. And we know that persons will go to Google and ask questions. If, for example, to that previous query, best Chinese restaurant in Trinidad that serves, not what he said, that serve mala chicken, open now. Well, let us say the keyword there is Chinese restaurant, and you have a website. How do you guarantee that your Chinese restaurant comes up when somebody's actually doing that search? Well, you identify the term Chinese restaurant, and whenever that is typed into Google, it triggers your ad and places your ad head and shoulders above everybody else, all of your competitors, to ensure that you are tapping into that person when they're searching. And the reason why that is so important is, if I am on Google searching for Chinese restaurant, chances are I'm not looking for a roti shop. You're able to identify qualified leads when and where they're looking. And so by being able to have that ad direct them to your website, which we spoke about earlier, who now have your opening hours and your menu and your location, then you're helping that person to make that purchase decision, which is to call and order 5 large mala chicken, extra pepper. I'll pick it up in 20 minutes. That is what you want. Isn't that so? Now, again, we want to focus on certain main KPIs, the campaign goals, the keywords that you're going to use. So we're going to use mala chicken and Chinese restaurant. We're not going to use roti shop or Italian restaurant, because that's not the business that we're in. We help you to determine the budget, the best budget for your industry. Your landing page, which is where it's going to help to convert the clients. The other form of advertising display is now creative ads. And basically that is when you're on your phone playing a game, for example, or browsing a website, and what you will find is that an ad appears to the side or to the bottom. Some of them you may say are annoying. That is very powerful in building brand awareness and being able to help your brand to remain top of mind. And so you may not be interested in that product or service now, but by it being there in front of you, it helps you to recall either aided or unaided recall is important for marketers to be able to ensure that your brand continues to be successful. When we're doing this type of advertising, we go beyond just general demographics, your age and your gender, where you live. We help to now understand the interests, and we try to profile the customers. So we ask our customers deeper questions. What do your customers like? What are they interested in? Where do they like to vacation? What are their favorite foods? What brand of clothes do they wear? And that helps us. Move your hand, move your hand. Okay, got it. That helps us to be able to create customized campaigns. See, because you see, the more customized your campaign is the better the conversion. And we spoke about return on investment. I want to be able to say, well, listen, Mr. Duke came to us to run a campaign to promote a B-Mobile campaign. I want to be able to reach the right people. And so, a prepaid campaign is going to be different from a post-paid campaign because the target markets are different. Anybody ever see this? So I was going to the Bahamas earlier in the year, and I did some searches for flights and hotels. And sure enough, I was just browsing the internet, and the ads started to appear. And I'm sure I know that you all use Amazon because the data says so. You're looking at a pair of shoes on Amazon, and all of a sudden the shoes start to follow you everywhere you go, prices, etc. And you looked at it on your desk, on your laptop, and all of a sudden on your phone, the same shoes is there. Well, that is a strategy we call read marketing. That is something that we also do for our customers.
So it's all you.
Guilty. But you know what? The strategy behind it is, listen, you forgot to buy the shoes. What we want is to convert you as a customer. Come back and buy the shoes. You fell in love with it while you were here and something happened, you didn't complete the purchase. No. Come back and buy the shoes. That's the conversation. Video. Listen, YouTube is taking over. Video is taking over. And so, because we know that, we want to encourage our customers to create videos to promote their wares, but also we're able to place ads on YouTube while people are watching that video content as well. And yes, and before he says it, that is us as well, who have the ads on YouTube. But you know what? It goes back to the strategy. If we realize that, if we think at the outset that YouTube is a good place to position your ads, and after a month or two we realize that it's not converting enough, what we will do is we'll pull those YouTube ads and place them somewhere else. For example, in your email. Does anybody have a Gmail ad in here? Y'all shy? Nobody put up their hand? Okay, Gmail ad. Well, if you have an Android phone, you have a Gmail ad. Because without a Gmail ad, you can't access. I can tell you there are over 2.3 billion Android devices globally, which means there are at the very least 2.3 billion Gmail ads. And so what Google is able to do is to place ads within the body of Gmail to be able to target persons. Now, here's how it works. We have a number of students here, and chances are some of them will be looking at universities, and they're doing research online for this university or that university, and you'll be getting information in your inbox from UE or Harvard or Oxford or wherever it is. By virtue of you getting emails from universities, an up-and-coming university will be able to say, well, listen, this person, this body, irrespective of age or gender, is in the market for tertiary education. And so I'll place that tertiary ad to the top of Gmail, inviting them to click on this ad to be able to get more information about this university. The good thing about it is, if nobody clicks on that ad, it doesn't cost the advertiser anything. By clicking on it, they may pay 10 cents US or 15 cents US. And that is it, depending on the industry. And then hopefully it creates a conversation towards where the student goes to the website and ultimately, in a couple of months, enroll and now become a student. Started with that ad in Gmail. And before he comes up again, I'm just going to mention social media. Social media, of course, is huge. And basically, social media are websites and mobile applications that enable users to create and share content and participate in that social media. So now, across the Caribbean, across the world, there are a number of networks, social media networks and platforms. The king of which is Facebook. Globally, Facebook has over 2 billion active users. We have Pinterest and LinkedIn, which is a more professional platform. Twitter, there's who has seen a resurgence in, what is it, about 8 months since different bodies have started to take to Twitter to express themselves. Instagram, which is primarily photos and videos. And Snapchat. Can I see how many people in here use Snapchat? Okay. Snapchat, ladies and gentlemen, is not your Facebook. Snapchat is where young people feel more liberated to express themselves. Basically, what happens is the content has a fixed shelf life. So all content will disappear after 24 hours. And if I send a snap directly to you, I can determine how long that content, technically, or in quotes, is available for. The truth of the matter is, we all have to be careful because once it's sent digitally, there is a footprint and it can be retrieved. And so even though it may not be readily available, it may still be harvested. Irrespective of the social media platform that you use, if you take nothing away, remember that an individual Facebook or social media account is very different from a business social media page. And the rules of engagement are very different. And if you're going to be going on social media with your business, there must be very clear strategies associated. And the rules of engagement are very different. You need to be able to ensure that you're able to create frequent content. Content that is relevant, content that speaks to your public. You must be able to have a communication strategy. If somebody says something on your Facebook page, don't just delete it. Have a strategy to deal with it. Is it good? How do you do it? Well, you share it and you make everybody know that this person had a very good experience with you. If it's bad, address it. Address it even more quickly than you would the good comment. Because the last thing you want is a sufficiently motivated disgruntled staff member or disgruntled customer to be able to take to social media or any other digital platform and discredit or undermine your brand. And so it's very important that once you open up yourself to the social media space, you have a strategy to be able to, first of all, even identify and capture that negative comment and be able to adequately deal with it. Okay? Now, that's your strategy towards it. What are your goals? Increase brand awareness. I can't think of any brand that doesn't benefit from brand awareness. So, design your strategy to increase your brand awareness. Drive traffic to your Facebook or social media page and ultimately to your website where you can continue the conversation to that purchase decision. Generate new leads. Boost your engagement. And increase your mentions. Utilized effectively, you will be able to, in a very cost-effective way, utilize technology to be able to grow and enhance your business.